Okay, so what I want to take a look at, I have two images here, one, two, and I want to look at how do I have the bottom image show through. And really the best thing to do is going to be a layer mask. And layer masks are really powerful because you can take something away and put it back down. I could work with the eraser tool and just erase the background, erase the screen area. But again, layer masks are the best because you can just come on in and you can take it away or put it back. So how do I go about doing that? Again, I have this one up on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the bottom of my layers and I am going to click layer mask, which is this right here. And there I have it. Now, what I can see here is an image of the tree, and I have this link, and then I have this white area. Now what I can see is when I'm clicked on the white area and I look at my tools, I can see that I have black and white. So wherever there is white, and white is all over the image, we see the whole image. Now, when I put black in, it will cover the image, and when it covers the image, we'll see what's underneath. So let's give it a shot. So I'm going to come on in, I'm going to grab my brush tool. Now, I can see that my brush is at 2 pixels. I want this to be bigger. So much of the pixel will depend upon the image that you have and the resolution of the image. So let's take a look. So I can just come right in and I can start painting the black, and there we have it. The image starts to show through. The image starts to show through. And when I come over here, I can see it perfectly that that's what it looks like. Now, let's take a look at this image. So when I look at this, I can see that it has this kind of weird edge. So what I want to do is when I come on in, let's put the spacing down to 0. Now take a look. Now that is all gone. Now what's really wonderful, what we want to really make sure that we do when we're working with this too, is we can come on in and we can really zoom in and we can go much smaller. So right now my brush is set at 409, which is pretty darn big. I'm going to pull my tool panel on over and I can grab the zoom in lens, zoom it on in. I'm going to grab my brush one more time. Okay, there we have it. Now, I can make this smaller. Now what's great, the keyboard shortcut is the curly bracket. That's really pretty awesome. So you can come in nice and close and go even smaller. And just getting rid of that green. And as you move around, grabbing onto the hand, you can move it on down. And I like to work with the keyboard shortcuts. So when you hover over your thing, you'll see that H is for hand and B is for brush. So I can go back to B. I know I have the black right on top. I can come on in and move it on through. Again, I want to get this big area so I can go a little bit bigger here. I can scoop right down. As I want to go a little bit closer, I can grab H. Now I want to take a look and see what it looks like, so I'm going to zoom out. In order to do that, see I'm still zooming in. I can hold down the minus and zoom it on out, and we can see. Okay, so now when I look at this edge, that edge looks like this image doesn't fit with it. So let's try that a little bit more. Whoa, went too close. All right, let's soften up this edge. So how could I do that? Well, what I could do is I could grab my brush again, and when I look at my edge, I could soften the edge. So right now I have it on a hardness of 100%. Let's see what happens if we go to 50%. All right, let me, actually, you know what I'm gonna do right now? Now this is what's really great, right? So when you put white back on top, you can put this, you can put it back in. And actually, you know, when I look at this too, see how this has a soft, blurry edge? And I'm giving it this hard edge. I definitely don't want to do that. So what I'm going to say is I actually want to change the hardness. I want to put it down to 0. All right, so then I can come in and I'm going to put black up on top. So again, amazing. I want to just recap that when we put the white back on top, we can add in, we can put back what we had. So I'm going to zoom it on in a little bit closer. Come on in, grab my brush, and I won't have such a hard edge. Now, a lot of times too, it might feel like it doesn't work so well just because the images are so different. So don't forget that when an image is taken, a lot of the lighting is added from the environment. So we can always go in and work with each layer and add some different kinds of effects to make it work together. So I'm going to keep on going through here and erase out this background, erase out these sections. Again, I can even go in a little bit smaller. So it's those kind of subtle things that I want to be sure to get. I can zoom it on in. So sometimes, again, going in even closer. All right, let's take a look. Again, I can go a little bit bigger. And with the black up on top, and I can see as I look at my layer how it's starting to grow and change. And it's starting to work. Now we could say that, this is our taking two images. What exactly is double exposure? Well, in this project, we're taking two images and bringing them together. Again, this edge still seems a little bit like there's a little difference. But again, I would say your best bet is going to be to just come in and work with the colors. Now, this is one of the mistakes that people make, okay? They'll end up by accident clicking onto their image and they'll come in and then they'll be like, oh no, what happened? I added a color. All right, so the story is that depending upon where you're clicked in the layer is the information you'll get. So you need to make sure that you're clicked on where the mask info is. So I'm gonna edit, undo, get rid of that. And again, I need to make sure that I'm clicked onto here and the black and white is loaded. I can come on over to this section. I'm gonna just touch on in and get this little area right in here. Now this is actually a pretty easy one to do, but you could tell that for some of these, you might be up super close and just kind of working. All right, get rid of that. Don't know why I did that. I'm gonna put the white back on top, put that back in. Come on over to this side, over here. One more time. I can come in close. Oops, I have white up on top, put black up on top. And again, what I can do here, I can go a little bit smaller. And I can really start to just kind of get the feel for that tray. So I can come on in and I can move all around. Now again, you might even find with your project, every project is going to be different. So you might even find with your project that you want to have a hard edge depending upon what it is that you're pulling out, right? And I can see that, and again, now as I get into this bigger area, I can just come in and just do a nice bow swoop and pull out the stars. Voila, I can come back for that little green line in there. I can come on back. Oops. Some of the blue is coming on in. Again, I can get rid of that as well just by coming on in and adding the white back in. All right, let's zoom it on out. So there we have it, pretty easy. So what I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to take a look at working with the colors in order to make the images look like they work better together. Because right now, yeah, we're getting it to happen, but the only problem is that, they feel like two images that were just put together in Photoshop. So take a look in the next video to see some ways to pull the images together better visually. Thanks so much.